What do we have for Libra? The Sun, Leo energy at the foundation of the reading, Libra. Libra, I feel that right now you are in your winning season. The scales have truly tipped in your favor. And I feel that it's starting to look to other people like the more you gain, the more they lose. Now, this can obviously really speak about who some of these individuals may be or were in your life. But it's as if you have transformed your life from the ground up. And it almost looks as if you've done it overnight. But you know that it actually took you a lot of hard work and time to get to where you are. But you've reached a certain level now, Libra, where I feel that there's just a lot of lies, a lot of gossip, a lot of eyes that are looking at you in this new beginning. And well, there's a lot of jealousy and envy here, Libra, and because of this, people are projecting their insecurities onto you. You know, I was picking up on some individuals that are loitering around inside of your energies that are actually exposing who they really were all along as a result of this success that you're having. It's as if there's people here that never expected you to become as successful or as big as you have gotten. You know, maybe at one point in time, you were smaller than these people. You know, if we're talking about the size of your business, your success, or maybe your wealth, or really just your drive or your intelligence, your kind of genius. It's like you have something that these other individuals wanted. And I feel that the only reason why they were actually in your energy to begin with is because they wanted to keep you small. But it's as if you have now outgrown these individuals. And because of this, there's this very narcissistic energy that I'm getting here that is acting out. You know, narcissists, we hear about this all the time, will build you up, right? Like you're the greatest thing in the world. But as soon as you hit the next level in the game that could quite possibly be further than they have been able to get to, then they really come for you, right? It's like one day they're praising you, and then the next day they're just trying to get whoever they can to listen to lies and falsities that they're making up about you. You know, I've also been picking up something in regards to this all unfolding in a very divine manner. It's as if you were chosen to walk the path you were, but there was all these little people along the way that you were actually meant to expose to the rest of the collective. It's as if your success gets people to act out, right? And people are like, wow, I never saw that side of you before, right? So you can now see how your success is exposing the demons that live within, Libra. What do we have the sacral, please? 8 of Pentacles in reverse at the sacral. And then I also have the 5 of Cups here. Actually, they want me to take that. At the solar plexus. So this 8 of Pentacles is really speaking about this energy that I'm picking up on, because there's more of a focus here on who you are, what you have built for yourself, than actually putting in the hard work to do this themselves, right? So they look at it in terms of, wow, Libra has gotten to this level in their life. There's no way I'll ever be able to achieve that, or it's just too much work. I don't want to put all that work in. So rather than have Libra sit way up there on this pedestal, so to speak, I'm just going to go ahead and cut Libra down to size so I don't look like I'm less than Libra. 8 of Pentacles in reverse at the sacral. This is a very unambitious energy. This is an energy that wants to cut corners at all cost rather than putting in the hard work. And with this 5 of Cups, Scorpio energy following this 8 of Pentacles at the solar plexus, we are now seeing an energy here that speaks directly on who this person is and how others are beginning to see them. It's like nobody wants to be around this energy. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants this poison and this venom seeping into their life. And I was picking up a kind of a similar energy in the Leo reading. You know, this is just seemingly in the collective right now. People have just gotten to the point in their life, Libra, where nobody has time for people's toxicity anymore. Nobody has time or energy to listen to gossip, lies, and slander that people spread about other people. You know, people can see through this stuff now, and the only people that are not aware of this are the people that are still doing it. Because make no mistake, no matter how awake these people claim to be, they are mainlining the matrix, right? You know, this is something that I witness all the time. People that claim to be so knowing, but then you just look a little closer and these people are trying to keep people sick. You know, this is something that we can see it politically speaking on the world stage. We can see it in our communities. So I feel that now is a time, Libra, to really take stock of the connections you keep in your life. Just recently, I was talking about, I think in a collective reading, in the Capricorn reading, we are the sum of the 5 closest people to us. But I feel that we can go even further here and say that you are the result of, let's say, the 5 things you listen to the most, whether it's podcasts, it could be other tarot readers, it could be anything, right? Maybe you listen to political outlets or talk shows, all this sort of stuff. So now's the time to really take a second look at all these things, right? You know, this is something that I find myself having to do all the time because there's just so much misinformation and poison out there. And these are all the things that make up your reality. They make up your experience. So what I'm getting here, Libra, overall is now being a time to really focus in on all of the things you are inputting into your psyche. And also being very careful that you're not supporting other people's bad behavior, because this is something that can cause you to get karma without even really knowing it. You know, people who are gossiping and slandering other individuals and then trying to drag other people into it that don't even know the people that they're gossiping and slandering about, and then these people agreeing with them or validating their bad behavior. This is very dangerous territory to be in, because you really don't know what kind of karma is being funneled to you based on the audience that you are giving some of these outlets or these individuals that you may be giving your time and energy to. And as we can see here in this 5 of Cups, these 2 people are walking away, and it's like this person is having to sit with themselves, right? It's like they need to marinate in the energies that they have been projecting out into the collective, out into the universe. You know, a lot of people who do this sort of stuff or get up to this sort of behavior are given a clear path or almost given rein by the divine to do this, because the divine wants to see, right, how far they'll go with this. But now we're entering into a season where you're going to start seeing a lot of these people fall. A lot of these people are going to be taken out of power, so to speak. And looking back over the past few years that I have spent in the tarot community, I guess I've been here for, well, going on how many years? Going on 4 years in December. And I've seen a lot of people come and go. And there's a theme with the people that have gone. It's like they all got up to the same kind of nonsense. They were all mainlining poison and venom into people's lives when they were given a perfectly good opportunity to try and help people, right? To try and lessen people's burdens. But all they did was bring more burdens to people. People that entrusted them with spiritual guidance. People that entrusted them with wisdom, right? But these are all the kinds of false prophets that we've heard about since the beginning of time. So again, be very careful as well with people who are doing the most, right? It's like every other word that comes out of their mouth pertains to God. But then all of a sudden they're shifting gears and they're spewing poison and venom into the collective, right? See, they just have God's name in their mouth as a way to create this kind of smoke screen or to soften the blow, so to speak. It's an energy that wants to keep you in confusion. It makes you think, well, they have God's name in their mouth all the time, so they must be telling the truth. Very, very dangerous for these individuals to play this game. And again, this is something that we see all the time. We see it on the world stage. We definitely see it in terms of individuals in the spiritual community. You know, when it comes to a connection that you nurture with the divine and God, and this is obviously something that I speak about in my readings because I myself have a very strong connection with the divine, with God, with Source. I'm very obedient to God, and it's because of the divine and God and Source and Spirit that I have been able to rebuild my life from nothing. But my personal relationship with God is just that. It's personal, right? So I'll only go so far when I'm explaining that kind of connection, because it's futile to try and detail it when every single individual has their own personal relationship with Source, with the divine, with God. The relationship that one of you may have with God is going to be different from the next. It's all based on an individual experience. But what you will hear me speak about is how that connection can drastically improve your life. I mean, it's the difference between night and day. So I say all this, Libra, because now is a really good time to take note of the individuals who try to tell you that if you don't do this, that, and the other, if you don't show up for God at this time and that time and blah, 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 you are going to be punished, right? These are essentially people that are playing God in your life. I hear all this nonsense all the time. It's absolutely ridiculous. So don't allow anybody else to try and influence that for you. And if you find that there are people trying to influence that relationship, get away from them as quickly as possible, because these people are trying to play God himself. And we all know how that one turns out. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow. Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy at the heart. And as you can see here, this dog, right, is clearly stuck outside in the snow. And this is a church, just a candle lit, right? I just heard, God doesn't live here. It's like individuals trying to influence people down a path that they're told will allow them to access the divine, right? Essentially leading people astray. And then people show up and they're like, wait, where's God? And God's like, I didn't tell you to go that way. Who is this weirdo you're listening to? Five of Cups followed by Five of Pentacles. Libra, I'm picking up an energy here on individuals who are the truth, people who are speaking the truth, and then the fallen ones, right? The dark ones, minions, trying to steer some sort of public opinion or create some sort of a narrative as a means to get people to think that they themselves were chosen by God specifically. And these are all the same kinds of people that will continually want to give themselves that title. I'm chosen. God chose me to be here. You're not chosen. Let me tell you something, Libra. Anybody who was actually chosen for a divine path will very rarely say they were chosen for a divine path. They don't need anybody to validate their existence. They're very stabilized in their faith, and they're confident enough in the connection that they nurture with the divine to know that they are right where they need to be. So again, we are seeing a massive fall of these kinds of individuals that are trying to lead people astray. They don't know they're falling, but they certainly are. I mean, all the telltale signs are all around them. But I feel that you are essentially the last stop before they begin to receive judgment. They failed the test by their treatment towards you, by the slander, the gossip that they may have spread about you. These are individuals that are guided by their own demons and masquerading as one of God's own. What do we have at the throat, please? Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy at the throat. Unbelievable. Reinforcing everything we're saying here, because this is an energy of betrayal. It's a very underhanded energy that will do whatever it has to, by any means necessary, will they try and lead people into the darkness, like cattle being primed for the slaughter, right? It's like an energy that is collecting souls, collecting followers for the underworld. That's why discernment is so important. It's like people engaging with these people, being led astray. God saying to them, hey, I don't know who that person you're following is talking to, but it's certainly not me. I don't care how much they say they pray or they read scripture. That person is not one of mine. They are masquerading as one of my prophets, right? And this is the same kind of person that will actually attack one of God's own, one of God's prophets, or one of God's people that have been chosen for a specific path, Libra, you, and try and get them to relinquish their position by casting self-doubt, illusion, fear, chaos. And I just heard famine as well, which is interesting. I mean, Five of Pentacles, this is a card that represents poverty and just loss of all kinds. It can be spiritual, it can be physical, it can be financial, it could even be mental, but it's overall a blanketed energy of darkness in different areas of your life. One of the worst cards in the tarot. And there we have it, right smack dab at the center of the reading. It's like this is a trickster, right? And the thing is, they don't stop. It's like here they are, people walking away, but they're still trying to lead people to God. But God isn't there. And then here they are, just repeating the cycle over and over again. Seven of Swords at the throat. So I feel that there's something here around communication in this person. This could be somebody who is very crafty with their words. Maybe they have a loud voice, or maybe they just speak with some kind of authority. Oh, okay. I just heard they have a lot of fear in their voice. They project that onto other people, so people feel fear when they listen to them. People get scared when they listen to them. You know, this is the kind of person that will probably talk about death a lot, and that so-and-so is going to have some tragic event take place in their life. Be very careful of surrounding yourself with these people. See, what you need to understand here, Libra, is that we're all manifesting our reality in every given moment. So if you're constantly injecting fear into your experience, then you are going to manifest a reality that is based in fear. And then I have Nine of Wands on the bottom of the deck, right? So this is an energy where it's calling for you to create a perimeter, right? A boundary from this energy. And see how we have this wolf here trying to break through? This is representing the energy. And then I have the Devil right underneath that. And then Five of Wands, Seven of Wands. Wow. The Moon, right? It's like you can't see this person for who they really are. They're masquerading as one of God's own, but they're not. But see, Hangman, right? You have to think and look at this person or this situation, whatever it is to you, from this higher perspective, which is basically just utilizing everything that we're speaking about here. What do we have, the third eye? Unbelievable. Seven of Cups following the Seven of Swords. So there's the illusions. And see how Christ has this sheet over him, almost like this person can't see him, right? But they're too wrapped up in the spoils of life, not realizing that the serpent is wrapped around them, right? They're just holding on to all these jewels. You know, the devil works through people. And don't forget, the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world that he did not exist, right? And these kinds of people are not beyond having God's name in their mouth. They'll say and do whatever they have to deceive you, to deceive us, right? It's like, Libra, I feel that a lot of you probably find yourself giving people passes or making up excuses for people like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. They had a rough path, all this sort of stuff, right? But we need to start pulling it in a little bit, Libra. And what I mean by that is we need to start taking people at face value. All right. This is something that I'm definitely having to get better at as well, because when I meet somebody or when I first come to know somebody, or just the way I perceive people in general, because I have a lot of hope, I want to always recognize the absolute best in people first. But what I find is when I do this, I end up being really let down. I end up just really hurting myself because I didn't want to see the darkness in these people at first. And I'm also somebody who wants to think that maybe they just need a little bit of light brought into their life, right? But where we're going in the world right now, Libra, it's like we're preparing for a storm. I just heard that so clearly. There's no more time for this, no more room for this. If people aren't showing up ready to go now, for the most part, you just have to leave them to their own devices. I feel that a lot of these people too that you're probably dealing with, they've had enough time to get it together. And if they haven't gotten it together at this point, they probably never will. This energy that I'm looking at on this table, Libra, is pretty rough. You've been through a lot to get to where you are. But in saying that, I'm only picking up your energy here really with the Sun and this Eight of Pentacles. This is speaking about some sort of opposing force. It's like this is representing the weapons that are being formed against you in the shadows, which aren't even remotely close to touching you. It's like you're underneath the sun on the new timeline. Somehow these energies here think that these weapons they're forming against you are going to pull the rug out from underneath you, is what I just heard. But you're long gone. It's like you've lapped these people. These are the kinds of individuals as well that spend more time talking about God than actually putting the time into their relationship with God. They're always telling you what you need to do. By all accounts, Libra, this individual or individuals that you may be dealing with are megalomaniacs. They're obsessed with their own power, so much so that they have been completely blinded by the reality of their situation. They can't even see what is taking place all around them. And I just heard the divine has surrounded this person. And I actually feel that you were the catalyst for this, Libra. I feel that this person's actions towards you was the final straw. What do we have at the crown, please? Queen of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy at the crown. Libra, I'm getting this very devoted energy from you. And I just feel that this is speaking about your path. This was a kind of final test, and this again is what I've been picking up for inside the collective. I think this came through again in the Leo reading as well, but it's collective wide. It's like all of us are dealing with this kind of energy in some capacity here. But it's like you've been positioned as a kind of healer, a kind of therapist, maybe in your community or just in your friend circles, your family, something like this, or maybe you have a social media platform. You are somebody who I feel, if you're not doing all this already, you have the ability to help people based on the struggles of your past. And this individual that you have just dealt with, it's almost like they were this NPC, right? A non-player character. They're like the final monster at the end of a level that you have to beat in order to graduate on to the new level in the game. But this Queen of Cups is also speaking about your intuition and again, how strong your connection is with the divine coming out right at the crown. You're a very compassionate person, Libra. I don't feel that you go out of your way to hurt people, unlike this person that I'm picking up on here. Just the absolute polar opposite, and how anybody can label themselves one of God's own when they purposely try and hurt people for absolutely no reason at all is beyond me. It's like they can't even see the demons that lurk within themselves, Libra, is what it comes down to. What do we have at the foundation, please? Six of Pentacles, Taurus energy at the foundation. This Six of Pentacles here is an energy of coveting. It's also an energy of greed and envy, right? So exactly what I was channeling through at the beginning of the reading, and it's right underneath the sun. So this person is envious of you, or you've been able to attain something that they do not have access to because of their treatment towards others or because of the way they've been navigating their path, right? But it's like they can't see it. It's like they're blind to this. It's like somebody who is completely consumed by their own ego and narcissistic tendencies. See, for the most part, narcissists, they fail to recognize the fault within themselves. They just refuse to see it. And having a connection with Source, the divine, requires surrender. None of us are perfect by any means. We never will be. And it's a good habit to get into a space where you are finding yourself constantly surrendering things in your life. I'm always doing this. Life is difficult. It's hard. There's certain things that we're bombarded with inside our everyday waking lives, and we slip up sometimes, and that's okay as long as you recognize it and do your best to get yourself back on path. That's good. That's very positive. That's the sign of a very strong character, a strong person, being honest with yourself. See, when you're lying to yourself and you're creating these illusions, this is when the devil has seeped into your life, and that's a dangerous game to play. It's like falling into a hole and not being able to get enough grip to pull yourself out, right? It's like you just keep slipping further and further in, when all you have to do is surrender, swallow your pride, so to speak, and then God's hand will reach down and pull you out. But until you surrender, that hole is going to keep caving in on you. And as we know, coveting, greed, envy, these all fall under the umbrella of the 7 deadly sins. It's like people out here with God's name in their mouth, and they're knowingly sinning every day. They're living their life under the umbrella of these 7 deadly sins, posing as prophets or people that are trying to help people out of the light, when they're not doing that at all. They're just influencing people to go down the same path that they themselves have gone down. Surround yourself with people who are constantly looking to self-improve. Surround yourself with people that are always looking for ways to better their experience of life and those around them. Surround yourself with people that want to help others heal from what they themselves have already healed from. And I call that an evolutionary mindset. The framework of your life should be built around just that, the evolutionary mindset, constant growth, constant surrender. And I have the 7 of Swords again on the bottom of the deck. And this 7 of Swords is kind of funny because, as you can see, this person doesn't have any clothes on, right? Which is just speaking about how they're up to their old tricks, but everybody can see them doing this. And I just heard, wait, you're trying to tell me you've been doing this the entire time and we're just now noticing this? What do we have, the sacral, please? Oh, wow. Unbelievable. The Empress, Gremory. So this Empress I read in its negative polarity, essentially a reversal, right? So this is an energy of infertility, but it's more in terms of the energy, right? There's no growth here. The Empress, in its positive polarity, is an energy of abundance, right? The abundant mindset. It's an energy of fertility. So this is the opposite. It's like this person here is the Empress in reverse. They're leading people into the dark, leading people into a barren kind of wasteland, which is how I perceive the Empress in its negative polarity, leading people to the underworld. This energy is also speaking about somebody who's very overindulgent, right? So this person may even do drugs or be an alcoholic, or I don't know. It's just somebody who has a lot of bad habits, but they're trying to be a positive role model in other people's lives. But again, they're a megalomaniac, so it's just all based on ego. These are the kinds of people that prey on other people, right? Prey on people that are looking for spiritual healing. And maybe this person is good with their words, right? They can wax lyrical, right? They just know what to say. I'm picking up like a evil evangelist kind of energy, right? And so people think, oh, wow, I feel like this person's going to deliver me from the darkness in my life. But little do they know, they're just going to find themselves further into the darkness. It's like somebody offering you a cure, right? But then feeding you the poison that takes you out. But it's a slow kill, right? A slow kill. That says it all. These are the people that are being exposed right now. And the only individual to blame at this point, if you refuse to see the truth that is being exposed to you, is yourself, Libra. Okay? Don't forget that. You know, this is much like what we see taking place on the world stage all the time. These people that just lie to us, right? Lie through their teeth. And then people go and vote for them because they believed the lie when the truth was all around them. It's like a spell. You know, people think when they see other people in a powerful position that they're just automatically telling the truth. It's actually mind-blowing to me, you know. When I witness this, I like to stay up to date on world affairs and things that are going on politically. And, you know, I always compare it to a kind of kabuki theater, right? But this day and age, it has gotten so bad. I mean, it's worse than it's ever been in my lifetime anyway, that I have witnessed. And some of these people are just absolutely ruthless. It's like one day they're saying one thing and the next day they're saying something that completely contradicts themselves from the next. And then people are still supporting them. Right? So at the end of the day, if you're not believing these people when they tell you who they are, they're telling you literally who they are. They're telling you that they're a liar, whether it's somebody you're dealing with in your life, Libra, or it's somebody that you're seeing on the world stage, then the only person to blame at that point is you, right? Is us. What do we have? The solar plexus, please. Page of Swords, and then I also got the Knight of Swords here, but we're just going to take this Page of Swords. So there it is. We basically spoke this card into existence for this entire reading. There's the lies, there's the gossip, there's the slander, there's the chatter behind the scenes in regards to you and the path that you're on, Libra, right? All of a sudden, just because you're having some success or maybe you're doing better in your life, oh, you must have gotten it in some nefarious way. Right? And then these people act like they're all-knowing and they make up some sort of narrative about you and then inject it into the collective or to people around them as a means to try and steer the public opinion of you. Page of Swords at the solar plexus. But, as we can see here, it doesn't work. Or in due time, people learn the truth. Because, Libra, but just like I was saying, that we're the only ones to blame, that if we're not believing these people when they show us and tell us who they are, the same could be said for you, your character, the quality of your content, your work, whatever that means to you, and the essence of your soul that I feel people can feel is a clear representation of the person you are. That's why this is going to unfold the way it does. It's basically like people saying, what are you talking about? Where do you get this from? That is not who Libra is at all. You just pulled that out of God knows where, and it looks to be based in some kind of jealousy, some kind of envy, because maybe Libra's doing better than you are, which is all a result on Libra being more responsible than you are on their path and protecting the gift that God has given them to navigate their mission down here, right? You know, these feel like people that could have been on their path for a minute, right? And then they got distracted by the spoils of life, and they're like, let me just take a little detour here. You know, God won't mind. And as we know, that is called selling your soul. The devil, being the author of confusion, will have you thinking that it's all right. You can take a little for yourself. God's not going to mind. You're God's favorite, right? Everybody wants to think they're God's favorite and that they have a pass. None of us get passes. You either are or you aren't functioning inside of your mission. You're either obedient or you are not, period. What do we have at the heart, please? Okay. What are we taking? Okay. Judgment. There it is, right? I was talking about famine and sickness. Remember how I was speaking about how the Five of Pentacles is like an energy that can pick up on famine as well, and this would have come out right underneath it there, okay? But this is already in the energy. I mean, this is judgment. I already spoke about you being the last stop before judgment, all right? But as we can see, we're going to start on this side, Two of Swords, falsehood, right? It's like a car salesman, right? They always act like they're sticking their neck out for you. Libra, I have your best interest in mind. Just trust me. Just follow me. I'm God's favorite. I'm God's chosen one. I'm higher than anybody. I know everything. Yeah, God gives me some passes. I can do whatever I want. Two of Swords is reinforcing what I just said about the devil being the author of confusion, because this Two of Swords from this deck, read as a negative polarity, is an energy of literal confusion. It's an energy that's going to lead you astray. It's also an energy that's going to, like we mentioned, mix up the narrative, right? Try and inject some lies, inject some slander, right? Into the collective subconscious, so to speak. You know, and unfortunately, with social media and just this modern world we live in, once a narrative has been injected out into the conscious collective, right, by way of social media and all these platforms, that's it. You know, we see this all the time in the world of celebrity, lies being spread about people, and then, you know, maybe a year or two down the line, we hear, oh yeah, that was actually a lie, we didn't know what we were talking about, or, we had some mixed information, but it's too late. A person's life is already ruined, or it's been significantly impacted by the lie. I'm somebody who thinks about the end result of why people do this, and I honestly believe that they do it because they want to delete people. They want people to remove themselves, right? Because this sort of thing, depending on how it unfolds, can drive people to a very dark place, can make individuals feel very alone and unseen when such horrendous lies are told about them. And it can also be dangerous because it can damage people's faith. People are wondering, God, why would you let that happen, right? But in these cases, and I hear this one a lot, right? Why would God let that happen? And all I can say is we have free will, right? So it's up to us to make certain decisions in our life that are always in alignment with our highest good. And usually in every case, like I'm picking up here, there's some decision that we've made along the way that has positioned ourselves to be in the line of fire, so to speak. And I obviously can't speak for every single situation in the world right now. It's going to be circumstantial. But at the end of the day, this energy here wants to end you, right? Wants to end people. They spread death and destruction. They spread lies and slander. And as far as I'm concerned, lies, slander, and gossip of this magnitude are used to end people. And then we have the Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, ritual and ceremony. So here you are, Libra, coming up at the heart of the reading, right as we're bridging in to the outcome, right? We're going from the resistance to the support. Resistance, support, okay? Now, this is an energy that is calling for you to be really honest with yourself about who you may be dealing with, what you may be dealing with, right? Understanding everything we're saying here, that this is the world we live in right now. It's like a war zone. I mean, it really is. But whatever the case here, Libra, something that's even more difficult to navigate than a literal war being on our front doorstep is the spiritual war, right? Because we can't see it. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what's coming our way. There is an all-out war taking place on the spiritual plane, and this is a really good way of understanding the matrix theory, right? The matrix theory is suggesting that we live in a kind of simulation. We can't see what's really happening because we're so consumed by the material world, right? The material world that, let's say, the devil created, right? To keep us in a state of illusion at all times. So we can't navigate the actual reality of our situations, okay? So that's why discernment and using your proper judgment this day and age are going to be the best weapons that you can use to navigate yourself, okay? So going back to what I said, you need to start taking people at face value. How does somebody make you feel? That should be your barometer by which you measure how that particular energy or relationship shows up in your life. Simply, how do you feel on a gut level? What is your intuition telling you? What do we have at the throat, please? Ace of Pentacles, Kehathel, the adored God, divine blessings, drives away evil spirits, rules agricultural production. So this energy here is similar to what I was picking up here with the Sun, right? Sun and Ace of Pentacles, I mean, they're both energies of manifestation and success. There's just some sort of prosperity. But when I get a similar energy right at this position, the first card that is representing the three last cards here, it's very significant, okay? Because now we're starting to see what is watching over you, right? You have this eye of God, eye of the divine, protecting you, protecting what you're building here. And the only way that you can sacrifice this is by allowing yourself to be led astray by these false prophets, so to speak, right? However that shows up for you. God is giving you the eye to see. God is giving you discernment. You need to use it. You're on the path to some sort of greatness here, Libra. I mean, that was apparent with the Sun at the foundation of the reading. But there's something here that you've been manifesting, I feel, for quite a long time. It's something that's going to allow you to make some sort of real-world impact. And it could just be in your communities, it could just be in your circle, but it's something that has to do with why you are here. It's connected to your mission. It's just an overall energy of alignment that I'm picking up here for you. It's like something is meant to be. Something is getting ready to take place. And this could be why we are feeling this sort of nasty energy rearing its ugly head in the 11th hour. What do we have for the third eye, please? King of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy at the third eye. And I only take these cards as uprights, even though it came out reverse. These cards are always read in their positive polarity, just like these cards are always read in a negative polarity, no matter which way they come out, okay? These are demons, these are angels. So, the King of Cups, this is an energy of emotional wisdom, emotional strength. Rochelle, God seeing everything. Restitution, finds stolen objects and discovers the person responsible, right? So here now we're seeing this person, they're like, oh, Libra, please, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't know that you were actually a chosen one. I thought I was chosen, but, you know, I took a detour somewhere along the way because I wanted to drown myself in the spoils of life, but didn't really work out for me. And Libra, despite the horrendous attacks that a lot of you may be dealing with right now, however they may be showing up, whether it's literal, whether it's spiritual, whether it's mental, whatever it may be, whether it's individuals just creating overall disruption and chaos on your path. What you are going to learn here, Libra, is the power of stoicism, which is all about emotional balance, control. It's an energy of being non-reactive. And what's interesting about this, Libra, is this is probably the most loving thing you can do for any of these opposing energies, because it's you not reacting to these individuals' terrible behavior or just acting out that helps them to grow. One of the most caring things you can do for another individual is not validate their bad behavior by even reacting to it. What do we have at the crown to close out the reading for Libra, please? Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy at the crown to close out the reading. God, the teacher, intellectual talent provides knowledge. So as we can see now, we took this journey, right? And it began really right after the sun with this Eight of Pentacles in a reverse, which that was that energy of individuals trying to affect your focus on your path, right? They're individuals that don't want to put in the hard work to build their own. They would rather come for you and try and tear down what you've built to bring you back down to their level. But as we can see, it's ineffective, because you chose the path of the righteous. You walk by God's side in order to be committed to Him, to be loyal and to be faithful. Loyalty to God is expressed by the covenant path, which is the path of righteousness. And with that, I have nothing left to add. Libra, this is the message I have available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations, Libra. Take care.